Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans! I'm Kelly One Shot, and this is my review of Batman number 64 from DC Comics, written by Joshua Williamson. Okay, so in this issue of Batman, we actually start off in the Batcave, or the Hall of Justice, with Batman surgically cutting into Wally West's body, and he's looking for clues, he's looking for answers. Then immediately, we go to Long Island, where we see the Justice League actually each battling a prototype Amazo robot that looks like their respective selves. Whereas Amazo has the power of all of them, this is several Amazo prototypes that each resemble a member of the Justice League. So the Justice League is battling all of these Amazo robots, and as Superman gets punched by his version of the Amazo robot, Batman sees Superman, then all of a sudden he sees Commander Steel, one of the people who died during the events of Heroes in Crisis. And this instantly freaks Batman out, his eyes go crazy, and then he's trying to shake it off. He instantly then tells Alfred on the comlink that as soon as he gets back to the Batcave, he needs to be checked for any level of hallucinogens that may be in his system. Then all of a sudden, the Flash Amazo robot starts trying to attack Batman, and Flash tells Batman that he can help. Batman says he doesn't need the help, and he takes down the Amazo Flash with his Bat Belt, the utility belt, and then again, during the battle, Batman gets a flash of Heroes in Crisis. He sees Sanctuary, and that they're all gone. They're all dead. And this freaks Batman out, obviously. And then as the fight ends, all of the heroes in the Justice League are talking to each other about they've been going through a lot, and it seems like they're non-stop fighting over the last few weeks and saving the world from different events. Batman just instantly takes off. He has nothing to do with this. He wants nothing to do with it. He takes off and he's on the way to his next mission. As Green Lantern John Stewart talks about a burrito place that Guy Gardner mentions, he asks Flash if he wants to come with him, but again, Flash runs right away, and then the members of the Justice League talk about what's going on. They say that Flash and Batman are both going through the loss of what happened at Sanctuary, that Wally West was killed, and all the innocent lives that were stolen with no answers in sight, and that it's taking its toll on Batman and Flash, and that they were working together to investigate the killer, but they kind of hit a wall and ran out of all the leads, and that Batman is too stubborn to admit it, but the guilt is eating Batman alive. We then instantly go to Central City and the Flash Museum, where there's a big celebration going on. We see the Barry Allen Flash statue and the Wally West Flash statue, and it's actually really cool, and I think it's really awesome that within the Flash Museum, we do have Wallace West Kid Flash, and we also have the suit of Avery Ho, the Flash of China. And that's pretty cool that they've finally been included in the Flash Museum, so people from the future like Booster Gold, and the Temporal Court and all that stuff should change in their present because it's now in the Flash Museum. Then all of a sudden, this mysterious shadowed figure, this woman, attacks the Flash Museum. We can see her silhouette, we know that she's wearing a cape, we know that she's a woman. I mean, ultimately, we already know who this is going to be, but they're going to reveal this slightly, like several pages into this issue. The Flash Museum's being attacked. We don't then see the attacker, but all of a sudden, one of the statues of the Flash starts falling down, and it's about to hit this man and his young girl, and then all of a sudden, Batman swoops in, and he saves the two of them. Batman, not the Flash. And they're kind of questioning this, like, oh, Batman, what are you doing here? As Batman then looks down at a pile of rubble, he then starts to see Wally holding two babies, Wally West. And then he sees Wally dead. And Batman knows that what he's seeing isn't real, but he's feeling the guilt. And it gets to him. So he throws some batarangs, and he just says, stop! And then all of a sudden, Barry Allen runs in, and he's like, he catches the batarangs, and he's like, wow, I'm kind of surprised that you're here in Central City before me. And then he does mention that Batman is always able to know the Flash is running because he feels the static of his lightning that he gives off, and it kind of tugs on Batman's cape a little bit, so Batman might have some tech in his cape that alerts him of this static discharge that the Flash brings. So that's pretty cool. Flash then tells Batman that there's still work to be done and we need to help the people. He cheers the people up, he gives them pizza, and he says that we need to smile to let them know that things are going to be okay, that everyone's going to be safe. And then again, he says, well, how did you get to Central City before me? And then Batman says that he was on his way back to Gotham City in the Batplane, and he heard an emergency alarm on his satellites. Then Flash instantly starts running off to try to put things back together, because he's kind of getting the feeling that Batman is being dishonest to him. And Batman then says, like, I'll stay and I'll help you investigate. And now Flash says to him, well, what'd you say to me earlier? I'm good. You can disappear now. And then Batman says that 2 eyes are better than 1, and that we can solve this case together like the old days. The Flash then kind of like turns around and questioningly says, the old days. Then all of a sudden, we actually get a memory of Wally West as Kid Flash and Barry Allen as the Flash running in the Batcave with Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson Robin. And this is a throwback to when they were all working together from the old days. Wally West is smiling and having fun. Dick Grayson as Robin is smiling and having fun, and they just stopped Solomon Grundy. Batman mentions that maybe it was too dangerous that they got involved, and that they could have been seriously hurt, and that Grundy is a serious threat and he's big danger. Then Flash says, they didn't get into trouble, and besides, look how much fun they're having. And we see Dick Grayson and Wally West smiling and enjoying their time as superheroes, because they've always had fun. They don't have some of the same holdups that their mentors have. And so they just love crime fighting. They always have. It's honestly why the second generation of DC Comics has always kind of been my favorite. I love Dick Grayson. I love Wally West. They love what they're doing, and they're the perfect successors to Batman and the Flash, respectively. Because they've been training under these two for a much younger age than what both Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen started their careers on. And for them, it's just fun. They love doing it, and they love helping people. And I think that's awesome. We then go back into the present day, and we see Barry Allen kind of dealing with all of these emotions. And he tells Batman that there's too many mysteries, that he's dealt with too many unsolved cases in his life, and he has so many mysteries as it is that he can't afford any more of Batman's lies. And Batman tries to deny that he's lying, and then Barry tells him, stop, I'm too exhausted to listen to you lie to me again. You didn't get an alarm in the Batplane after the fight with the Amazos. You came right here, as if you knew this attack was gonna happen. So he's telling him, how did you get here before me, and did you know what was gonna happen? Tell me right now. Batman then tells the Flash that it all started with random events in Gotham City, and that he's been busy with Sanctuary and several other issues, that he almost missed all these clues, and at first there were small attacks that were mostly symbiotic and no one was hurt, but clearly that things are escalating. Then the Flash asks Batman who is doing this, and Batman flat out tells him Gotham Girl did this. Claire Clover did all of this thing, and he mentions that her and her brother Hank arrived about a year ago during the Batman story I Am Gotham, and they had incredible powers, but the more they used their powers, the more it was draining their life force. And that Psycho Pirate ultimately manipulated these two into kind of being evil and kind of being jerks. And the Flash mentions that he remembers because the Justice League actually helped take down Gotham, which was Hank Clover, and that he gave the Justice League a hell of a fight, and eventually it was Gotham using his powers to the max that actually ended up killing him, because that's how their powers work. They have a set limit, a finite limit of power, and once they exert it, boom, they're dead. That's that. And that's what happened to Gotham during I Am Gotham. Sorry for the spoiler for I Am Gotham, whatever. And he then tells Flash that this is why after Hank died, he put Gotham Girl on the bench. He was trying to rehabilitate her and train her how to defend herself without the use of powers, because the more she uses her powers, the more it's going to kill her. And he was trying to make her into a good guy. And then we actually go elsewhere where Gotham Girl is talking to somebody who we don't know, and there's this green glowing light, and she says that the Flash is involved now. And then we go back to Bruce and Barry, and they then again talk about the powers and the expiration date that is on Gotham Girl, and that if she uses them, she can die just like her brother did. We then again go back to Gotham Girl, and she has a smile on her face, and she's convinced that what she's doing is for the greater good and is the right thing, and she says that this is the heroic thing to do, and she knows it, that no one, not Batman or the Flash, will stop her from being a hero, especially if that means saving her brother Hank. And then on the last page and the final reveal of this issue, we actually see Gotham Girl, and she's got this crazy smile on her face, and I think she cut her hair, and we see the body of Gotham. Only he's hooked up to this machine with his veins are flowing with this green energy from the liquid that is being injected into him, and he's kind of like bulked out to the max, which makes me believe that this is some form of the Bane's venom, because obviously Gotham Girl is working with Bane and Psycho Pirate and several other Batman villains in this greater overarching scheme that has essentially been going on throughout all of Tom King's Batman run and has building up, and it ruined Batman and Selina Kyle's wedding, and ultimately in the current Batman story that we saw in Batman number 61 and 63, Nightmare, Batman is actually being kidnapped and tortured by this group of villains right now, but this, the Price four-part crossover event tie-in to Heroes in Crisis actually happens before the events of Batman 61 through 63, and in Batman 66, as soon as this crossover is over, we're going to instantly go back into the Nightmare event. It's actually funny because the last Nightmare, which was Batman number 63, Tom King directly mentions that you'll probably won't remember what happened after we get back to the story. He pretty much says that in the last Batman issue, which I knew was pretty funny because I knew that this crossover was coming up, and I did mention that in my last, either the comic book haul I did that week or the last review I did of this story. Either way, I did mention that, and so also Tom King's run is getting extended to Batman issue 105 instead of 100 because of things like this book being written by Joshua Williamson, though his contract is slated for 100 issues, so he's going to write 100 issues of this story. Either way, going back to this book, it's crazy. I think it's weird. I did not see her trying to bring Hank back, but ultimately we realize that this is probably Gotham Girl's motivation for working with Bane and being manipulated further by Psycho Pirate to begin with. I can't wait to see what's going on in the next issue. I think the artwork has been pretty good. It's fluid, it's non-stop action, it's a lot of fun. We see all these different people who died in Heroes in Crisis that keep popping in Batman's mind because he's riddled with grief and he doesn't know how to deal with it, and it's affecting his day-to-day life. This book has been amazing. I definitely think you should pick up a copy, read it for yourself, support local comic book shops, or buy it online. Either way, I'm Kelly One Shot. Take care, have a great day, and goodbye!